This is the best-selling crossover in America. It is, of course, the Toyota RAV4, and it is back today for a chance at redemption. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. Welcome to Old Durr Road, just outside Ellensburg, Washington. Built in 1882, it was a toll road to get goods from the Weenus Valley, over there, to the Kittitas Valley, over there. In fact, it was so steep, the switchbacks used turntables to allow wagons to make the tight corners. Unfortunately, due to the high cost of the road, it never caught on. Today, it's mostly used for recreation and to access the communication towers located at the highest point. Old Durr Road is also part of the Washington State Backcountry Discovery Route, or BDR. It's a route that takes adventure seekers across the entire state, using mostly dirt roads and trails. If you are curious about the Washington State BDR or a BDR route in your state, I will include links below in the description. Over the years, we've filmed a lot of vehicles on this road, and in fact, our mountain test course is just a few miles off of Leg 3. Yes, this is the same RAV4 that we did over heat trying to climb that test hill in very cold temperatures. So today, this 2024 Toyota RAV4 TRD Off-Road is back for a chance at redemption. We're gonna go on a little overland adventure. The goal is to get from here to the communication towers up there. Along the way, there certainly will be some snow, even though it is unseasonably warm for February in the Pacific Northwest, but we're gonna see how far we can get. Before we kick off this adventure, let's just review some of the key features of this 2024 Toyota RAV4 TRD Off-Road. Under the hood is a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder engine. It produces a peak 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. It also has a standard 8-speed automatic transmission and Toyota's dynamic torque vectoring all-wheel drive system. Multi-terrain select is standard at this trim level to help manage power distribution in tricky situations. The wheels are 18-inch TRD alloys, and they're wrapped in Toyota-specific versions of the Falken Wild Peak Trail tire. Suspension is tuned by TRD with a multi-link setup in the back. Inside, you get adjustable seats wrapped in Softex synthetic leather that are both heated and cooled, as well as a heated steering wheel. You also get a sunroof, wireless charging, mud mats, and a 10.5-inch touchscreen featuring the latest Toyota infotainment system. Ground clearance is rated at 8.6 inches. EPA rates economy at 25 in the city and 32 on the highway. Price as you see it here with the optional weather package, $41,925 US, including destination. And with that, let's go ahead and start our adventure. Still, today's adventure should be very different than what we've done before. The real problem we're going to have today isn't necessarily the snow at the higher elevations, though there might be some. It's actually the mud at the lower elevations, because we had a whole bunch of snow here a few weeks ago, and then it melted. When it melts, it really saturates the soil. So we could get some just extreme ruts and mud, and I'm expecting I'm going to get dirty today. Oh, and so is the RAV4. And here we go. Another adventure begins. It's kind of funny. I mean, I can see the tower right there. It doesn't look that far away, but there's a lot of zigs and zags before we can get there. Also, conditions are going to vary dramatically. In the sunnier spots, it'll probably be a lot of mud. In the shady spots, it'll probably be ice and snow. I've never attempted this in February before, though, so this is kind of a treat. It's going to be something a little different. I have not actually been on this road for close to a year, so it is possible that there might be some new hazards along the way, and I'm guessing the road still goes through. All right, the road is already looking way rougher than I'm used to, so I think this is going to be fun. I'm going to use all 8.6 inches of ground clearance on this thing. It does have a skid plate in the front, which is good. And here we go. We already have a lot of mud here. Now, it is deeply rutted, so I have to be careful, because Jeeps, who have probably been down here, have a lot more ground clearance than we do, so we will bottom out. And the last thing I want to do is high center 50 feet from the start. Now, mud is a tricky situation. I want to make sure that this doesn't use wheel brake vectoring to the point where it shuts down power and we get stuck. So I'm going to go to mud and sand. That will allow enough wheel spin to help us churn through the mud and not cut too much power. And here we go, let's do it. I'm gonna stay to the right, I think. Whoa. Okay, whoa. Yeah, no problem. Thank goodness we're going with gravity. Yeah, more mud. Now these ruts definitely seem a little more reasonable. Oh, and they start to get deep. We're gonna scratch. Yeah, a little bit. There we go. I think we're gonna continue with the mud and sand setting for this section because it's definitely got a little bit of slip needed here. But we are heading down. First, we're gonna go down into a ridge and then we're gonna climb back out. In past videos, we have commented on just how stiff the suspension is here. And yes, it is TRD tuned, but I do find it's just not really the right setup for these type of conditions. It's just too stiff. It's fine, obviously, if you're just gonna do it every once in a while, but if this is your typical weekend adventure, you may not enjoy it. Now we do have some little streams running down the middle of the road. As you can see, that's from snow runoff. And that obviously tells me that we might see some more rutting than usual caused by the runoff. In the spring, usually Park Service will come through roads like this and kind of tidy up the real problematic spots. But in the winter, yeah, they don't do anything. They expect people are not going to be going through roads like this because why would you, right? Right. Man, the sun is already very low. That's the downside of doing this in the winter, is I do not have a lot of time to get in and out before the sun sets. Oh man, here we go. Yeah. It's gonna be loud in here. All the gear in the back, the bouncing. Now, and speaking of gear, I am equipped for this trip with a tow strap, although there are no tow points on this, so I'm not really sure where I'll attach them if I need them. I also have an air compressor in the event I need to air down, as well as a shovel and traction boards. And yeah, those easily fit all the way in the back, even with the second row up. Man, this is so cool. I love this route. And those towers are definitely looking higher right now. Yeesh. So here we are at the turntables. Yeah, this is actually where they used to take wagons up, and there were turnstiles in each of the corners to get the wagon and the cattle to be able to rotate. It's insane. Unfortunately, no photos exist of that whole setup, but it's pretty incredible, very enterprising for 1882. So the big trick here is to make sure that I don't hit any of the boulders, but other than that, this really isn't that difficult of a section of the trail. And these rocks are huge. Oof, oof. Man, that suspension, that is not soft. Although I guess it's nice for when you're on paved surfaces. So if you drive on cement a lot, it's probably quite nice. Here is the first turnstile. Round we go. And then we got one more turnstile. I mean, really, the biggest issues so far are just rocks. Looking for any rocks that have rolled down the hill, kind of, you know, unusually large things that we just need to keep an eye open for. So you really just have to pay attention. As long as you're paying attention, you can honestly drive a Volkswagen Bug through this portion of the course. And over the one bridge. Water's pretty high today. Okay, let's stop in here and get some lunch. Just imagine what it was like to drive this with a wagon. That must have been insane. Back when this was a toll road, it would cut off almost a day of travel. You see, normally to go from the Weenus Valley all the way to the Kittitas Valley, you have to go through Yakima. And that's a long trip. This route almost cut a day off of that transit. But apparently it wasn't worth the amount of money that I think it was Joseph Durr was asking. I read that the toll road was sold as a membership, and in today's dollars, it would be probably about $250 a year. I guess if you're only going over the valley a couple times, that was just too much money. this seems like a good time to talk about dynamic torque vectoring all-wheel drive. You see, the Toyota RAV4 TRD Off-Road specifically has a rear drive unit that has twin clutches to send power proactively to both wheels. It can also lock up in certain situations, which is a really nice feature to have, especially in mud like this. Woo! Ha! Now back to the trail, and let's see if we can make it all the way. Yeah, oh, I remember this trail now. Right here is where it starts to get really rough. And I think there's a crosscut just around the next corner. I am still in mud and sand, but let's go ahead and switch that to rock. That will minimize the amount of slip because you don't always want to be spinning your wheels on rocks. That just creates trenches and problems. That should proactively send power to the rear differential and then send power to the wheel that needs it most. Okay, here we go. I'm so glad we're not rolling on 20s here. Yeah, 18-inch wheels with mild all-terrains, that's just fine today. It's gonna keep it slow. And this is where I get blinded by the low sun. Woo. Hey, dinging a few rocks here when we're compressing. Wow, this is a bit rougher than last time I remember. I think not a lot of people have been traversing up here over the winter, and it was probably covered with snow until just a couple weeks ago. Or maybe even a few days ago. That was a big rock. Oh yeah, this trench is way bigger than it used to be. This is gonna be fun. Let's take a look. You know, it doesn't really look too bad. I think the biggest issue is the fact that we got mud here. We don't have a lot of rocks, so we're not gonna get a lot of grip. But I think with a little momentum and the right drive mode, we'll be just fine. I actually want some wheel spin on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and do mud and sand because I don't want it to cut too much power. I'm not gonna go too fast though because I don't want the springs to sink and then punch the nose into that deep ditch there. So drive, mud and sand, here we go. Just gonna keep a steady throttle. Up and over. There we go, come on, come on. Oh, you got this? Okay, that didn't work. Apparently I need a little more throttle than what I gave. Let's go ahead and rewind a little bit. Let's try that again. Here we go, a little more throttle. Up, 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 up. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Nice. And we continue onward and upward. Communication towers are getting even closer. That's nice. More crosscuts. Just need to keep that throttle in, keep momentum, watch out for big sharp rocks. We should be good all the way. Now it is possible to take this route all the way to the other side, to the town of Sela, but we're not doing that today. I just hit a rock pretty bad, simply because we don't have enough time. That run we pretty much could only do in the summertime. Sunset's about 5-ish here right now, so have to be cautious of that. Roads like this can actually be really tiring, so make sure that if you do drive a route like this, you don't plan on the amount of drive time that you would do like on a highway, because you're constantly monitoring for rocks, ditches, things in the shadows, wildlife cutting across. It's a lot more engaging of a drive than you would get, you know, on the daily. And I think that's actually what I enjoy about this. You know, it's a real engaged drive. And of course you get just some spectacular views. Like the one we get right here. So the valley is pretty muddy and rutted, but I have enough width here to be able to kind of pick my own line, which is nice. It's not forcing me into a rut. And the rocks have kind of eased up a little bit. Oh, rut. Let's go up on this side. This is fun. Whoop, watch those big rocks, come on. I'm in mud and sand mode still, that's good. So I'm able to get a little slip. Help me out. Oh, there we go. Come on, you got this. It's gonna get muddier. Oh boy, okay, this is tough. Keep momentum, keep momentum. We're gonna bottom out here. Yep, just a little, but at least I didn't fall into the big rut on my side. Yikes, this is tough. Ooh, definitely running out here. Oh, this mud is tough. Oop, oop, don't go into the rut. Okay, now the problem here is too, you can look at this and say, well, maybe he should just go off the road and, you know, go in the grass, but you're actually not allowed to do that. That's one of the big rules, is that you got to stay on the track. Okay, ooh, okay, that cleared up a little bit. That was tricky there. So any videos that I've done on this particular route in the past, yeah, don't use those as a reference for how difficult this is, because this is actually way more challenging than when it's dry. This is super wet, super muddy, and even though it doesn't look like it's that risky, there's some real good opportunities back there to get stuck. Man, I hope by the time we get to the cliffside road that it's not this muddy, because that's going to be a little dicey. Now, if I wanted to, I could air these tires down, which would improve grip a little bit, and if we get into a tricky situation, I might just do that. But for the most part, I like to keep the air pressures normal, like 32, 35, whatever the manufacturer requested is, because that is how most people would approach these type of roads. Okay, it's calmed down a little bit. I can relax. We're coming up to the shelf road, which is always fun, especially when it has snow on it, which it might have because we're getting more snow on the edges, and it is in a shadow zone. So that just increases the possibility of large buildups of snow. Here we go. Here we go. Oh yeah, snow's gonna start hitting the road. Oh boy. So now the issue isn't just mud, it's mud and snow. So this is gonna be slippery and potentially treacherous. Oof, yeah, and I don't think anybody's been up here since it snowed last time. There are no tracks. Whoa. Now, as long as we have gravity on our side, and the road, for the most part, ditches inward, so we're doing okay here. These tires are not snow rated really, they're mud plus snow. They're not really like 3-peak rated or anything like that. So this is not exactly their strong suit. But as long as we can smoosh down into the mud, we should be okay. Oh boy, here we go. This is sketchy. Now, those drifts are getting a little bit deeper. Now you're watching this going, well, that's not much of a drift. Yeah, but the fact is that it can get deeper. So that's why I'm concerned. I'm not concerned about this stuff. I'm concerned about what's up ahead as we get higher. Come on, come on. You got this. Now I'm keeping it in mud and sand. I'm gonna put snow mode on, which is gonna give me more travel in my throttle. It's gonna give me more precise low speed control, and it's also going to keep the gearing in a way that I'm not gonna like spin my wheels too aggressively. This section is where it is usually the worst. We got a little snow, but I don't think it's too bad here. This is pretty reasonable. There we go. Oh man, it gets thicker up here. Let's go this way. Okay, now the road is completely covered. And around. Oh boy. Here we go. This is a tricky spot. Not only is it rough, it's covered in snow. Got the sun in my eyes. Okay, I'm just keeping throttle on. We're in snow mode. Let's see what this can do. Actually, I'm gonna jump out of that and go to mud and sand so I can keep wheel spin going. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, we got this. We got this. It's gonna do it. Can't believe doing this in February. I mean, thanks weather, but you know, still, We're getting there. Oh, this is where it's going to get deeper. And it's a little unbalanced. Come on, you got this. You got this. Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah, a little throttle there, a little wheel spin. I can't go too fast. I can't stress that enough. Big rocks can be lurking under the snow, and then boom, end of run. Oh man, I can see the Kittitas Valley right over there. It's the town of Ellensburg. Ooh, these rocks are getting bigger. Ooh, I think that the snows have brought down more boulders than usual. Of course, they'll clear out as more people hit this, but yeah, right now, super treacherous. This is the final stretch right here. Let's see how we do. Are we gonna do it? We have climbed from about 2,000 feet up to 3,500 feet, and I think we are gonna make it. Here we go. Keep that momentum going. Yeah, this isn't too bad. This is actually really good for right here. I have hit very large snowdrifts here in the past though, so it's always something to be cautious about. Oh. We're on the level surface. The snow's getting deeper, but we're not climbing so much anymore, so it should be easy so long as it doesn't get too deep, because we are so close to the finish. Watch that rock. Are we gonna hit it? No. Okay, that's good. Go through the slush and ice. Ha-ha! We made it through the hard stuff. Now we just have the final climb up to the towers. Woohoo! Victory circle. Yeah. No, I'm not doing a big mud donut because that would totally scratch these wheels. Let's not do that. And up we go. I don't think anybody's climbed this in a while. At this point, I'm going to switch to rock and dirt to minimize the amount of wheel spin, and we're just going to slowly climb up this really rocky section. Oh yeah. It's got it. Nice. Okay, it looks like we are gonna be home free all the way to the top. Of course, the top here has been fully exposed to sun and it has melted all the snow. Watch for the big rocks. And it's not just big rocks, it's also the trenches on the side that force the wheels down. Oh boy, this is rugged. Yee. It's times like this I like to have thicker tires. Whoa, here we go. Yeah, okay, now it should be easier. That view is spectacular. Totally worth the drive. Now, what about this 2024 Toyota RAV4 TRD Off-Road? Has it been redeemed? And I would say yes. On today's adventure, it was able to get through everything without a single issue. If the route was more challenging, if the mud was deeper, if the snow was deeper, then yeah, it would have had issues. But if you're going to be doing roads that are more treacherous than this, then Toyota would love to sell you a 4Runner. It would actually be the better choice. However, for today's adventure, this 2024 Toyota RAV4 TRD Off-Road was a winner. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share videos. Make them for you. Hope you enjoy them. And now, I'm going home.